What's going on, ladies and gentle giants? Welcome to The Average Investor, where anyone can build wealth, even the average investor. And in today's video, we're gonna be breaking down that elusive thing known as passive income. And you do not have to worry, guys. At the end of this video, I'm not gonna be trying to sell you guys a course. I'm not trying to sell you guys anything whatsoever. I'm just gonna be breaking down exactly what my passive income journey has looked like and what I have learned from others. So that being said, if you guys are new to the channel, please feel free to subscribe and smack that like button. And if you're a returning subscriber, you know I already love you. Let's get into the video. Now, I feel like passive income is one of those topics or buzzwords that people use to draw you into a video and then present an idea where it's gonna be super easy to make money, grow extremely quickly by doing really nothing. Now, I wish passive income was one of those things that you could snap your finger and be able to quit your 9-to-5 job and have this side income take over everything, but as the saying goes, all great things in life do take time, and passive income is no exception. That being said, if you did click on this video assuming that you're gonna become a passive income millionaire overnight, I'm sorry, you clicked on the wrong video. But if you're someone that does want to start building passive income for the long term, creating something that's stable and has a great foundation, then this video is for you. All right, I'm heating up just talking about it. Oh, hold on. All right, let's go ahead and jump right into it. So passive income is mostly built on two main pillars. So one being time invested and one being money invested. And as I alluded to in the beginning of this video, unfortunately, passive income does not just fall from the sky and it just starts on its own. So you're gonna either have to do one of these two paths. Either you're gonna invest your time into an idea or a business, or you can invest your money into it in order to get the passive income machine started. So right now we're gonna focus on the first pillar, which is your time invested, because if you're younger or if you're newer to a side income, there's a chance that you might not have that much capital on hand that you wanna use upfront for your side income and for your side hustle. So we're gonna start off with time first, because chances are, even though if you don't have money to invest in it, you can always invest your time. In order to make this idea and concept actually tangible, I'm gonna focus on my first side hustle or my first attempt at passive income that I had when I started when I was 16. So probably just like you, I was pretty hungry when I was 16, and I knew that if I took my time outside of high school, that I could find some sort of business or some sort of value that I can bring to others, that I could start generating some income from this. And that is exactly what I did. So listen up, because I'm about to break down literally step by step how I got started. And if you wanna try this side income or side hustle, then by all means, go give it a rumble. Now, my biggest rule about all side hustles and all businesses is you should pick something that you're passionate about. If it's something that you actually genuinely enjoy, then this is gonna be the fuel to your fire and your motivation in the beginning that is gonna keep you going and propel you forward. If you're only focused on income and money, then you're gonna be able to get burned out pretty easily. But if it's something that you were already doing and you just had to shift it over a little bit to make revenue, then it's gonna be much easier to keep that from the infancy stages all the way into a massive business. And that's the first thing that I did. So I did when I was in high school, and even now have a passion for vintage clothing. So this jacket right here is my grandfather's jacket, but it's a vintage Cabela's bomber, I guess it is. Puffer jacket. And when I was in high school, I loved vintage stuff. I thought that was so cool. I always wanted to find the old vintage Patagonias, the vintage Orvis shirts and jackets. I thought they were the coolest thing ever. And back in high school, my friends and other people would ask me, what is that jacket? Where did you get it from? What brand is this? And I realized that I wasn't going out and buying super expensive clothing. I was either finding it Goodwills, thrift shops, garage sales. I was always on the hunt for cool vintage clothing. And that was my aha moment, because what I found was a market need. People would literally ask me, how much can I buy that jacket off of you? But I liked it so much that I was like, I want to keep this one. That's the whole reason why I bought it. But I was like, if I can find other ones that I don't necessarily want to keep myself, then I could sell them. So I did literally exactly that. What I would do is I would go to Goodwill, I would go to these thrift stores, I would find a Masters polo for $4.95, I think it was, and then flip them for $30 to $45. I would find old jackets and do the exact same thing until I was repeating. And I remember the first day that I actually started doing this, I came in my kitchen with like 4 or 5 Goodwill bags laid them out on the table, and my mom was like, what are you doing with all this Goodwill stuff? Why are you planning on selling these? I was like, that's exactly what I'm doing. And she was like, I don't see anyone really wanting to buy Goodwill clothing. I don't know why people would want to buy clothes that are, worn a ton and broken down. I was like, there's something about the novelty to the vintage that I knew and that other people knew, but maybe the market need isn't for everyone. And sure enough, that day, I think I did over $750 in sales, which to me, and when I was 16, I thought that was the coolest thing ever. And I knew that I had a market need, and I knew I was fulfilling a need because other people wanted my clothing. So I did this model and scaled this model for about 2 to 3 years until I was going away to college. I knew that I wasn't gonna be able to go out and hunt and find these clothes myself. So here comes the more passive part of this, because I was spending my time going and looking for all these clothes, but I needed to find a way to automate this. In the process of me building this business, I actually grew a following that I could use in the platform that I could use in order to market more clothing for other companies. I didn't want to go out and find the clothes, but I had a platform, so I partnered with someone who was finding and fulfilling all these orders, and I was helping him sell everything. This is where the passive part comes into play. So I could be at college, in class, look over and see a notification pop up that an order came through, and that order is going to be fulfilled on its own without me having to do anything whatsoever. The only thing that I truly had to do was advertise the clothing and make sure that my traffic was going from my page to another person's page where the actual inventory was. And sure enough, this is still one of my side incomes to this day. I've started this idea multiple years ago, and it's still a massive predominant side income that I still use. So to wrap this whole entire idea up, I invested my time in the beginning to build this machine and build this business that I knew that there was a market need for, to the point where I didn't want to trade my time any longer. I wanted to give it to someone else to help me build this business, and then the revenue started coming more passively after that. And keep in mind, my initial investment, the first time I ever went to Goodwill, was only around $55, $56 on a ton of different clothes. That was my only initial investment. Everything else on top of that included my time and my creativity to take this from its infancy stages to a small company. So I hope that paints a picture for you guys on my first endeavor in terms of my first side hustle that I ever started. And now if you're sitting there and you heard that story and you're like, that is not something I want to do, I'm not interested in that, that's completely fine. You can do so many different types of avenues and different business ideas. You don't have to just follow the routine that I followed on my first side hustle, but you guys can find products in a niche that you're passionate about that you can start flipping. You can make a podcast about something that you're passionate about. You can write a book, an ebook, and put it on Amazon that you're passionate about. You could start a YouTube channel. Even though I'm not making any money off of this now, in the long term, I'm hoping YouTube will be one of my larger revenue streams. Now, that first pillar that I mentioned, where you're investing your time, is great for people that are in high school, that are just starting out, that don't have a 9-to-5 job yet, and they want to spend their time on something that is going to produce some sort of income. That still sounds like active income. The main idea that I want to focus on, and this is extremely important, is the idea of investing your time in a project, product, or class that is a set limited amount of time from start to finish of making this thing, and then have it be easily scalable. Here's what I mean by this. If you write a book, it might take a full year to write this book. It might take 2 years to write this book. But once you have written that book, it doesn't take any more additional time of your own to go out and sell 1 copy or to sell 1 million copies. Obviously, there's gonna be some marketing and some other efforts in place, but you can make that book, you can make that podcast, and then distribute it from 1 person to 1 million people without having to invest any more active time. That is the key distinction from a 9-to-5 job to a super scalable project or business. Because at your 9-to-5 job, you have to either show up every single day or show up on a certain time every single day in order to get paid. You are trading your time for money. But if you come up with a product or a project or a YouTube channel or a podcast that you sit down and you make for 1 hour, and it's not gonna change your effort for 1 person to see it or 1 million people to see it, that is a scalable passive income. Now again, that example all falls under the first pillar, where you're someone that doesn't have any capital on hand, or hasn't started their side hustle yet that they can invest all this time into, again, a business or a product. But let's say you're someone with a 9-to-5 job with a steady income, or you have a commission or a sales job, whatever it might be, you have the capital on hand, so you can fall under the second pillar, which is you can invest your money in something in order to generate more passive income. Now, the first place that you can look to invest your money, and basically the whole premise of this entire YouTube channel, is you can take the money from your 9-to-5 job and save it and then invest it into the stock market. And now there's so many passive avenues that you can invest within the stock market and not have to be an active day trader. In fact, I encourage you not to go that way. And again, I'm not a financial advisor, but if you really use the simple and straightforward way of opening up a Roth IRA and then funding index funds, that is a very passive approach. All you're really gonna have to do is invest, hold, and wait for the long term. This is great for someone that has a 9-to-5 job and isn't gonna be able to sit on the computer all day praying to God that they can time the market and see a stock shoot up. Not only are you gonna see passive income returns from the appreciation of your holdings, but in addition to that, you're also gonna be receiving dividends from these companies just from holding these stocks. These are like paychecks from these companies from you just holding and believing in them with your money. The second place, and a place that I wanna be invested in by the end of this year, is real estate. So same concept, you can get the money from your 9-to-5, save it up, and then invest it in a duplex and a single home and a multifamily. And not only are you gonna be seeing monthly rent income from these places, you're also gonna get appreciation of the house or duplex or multifamily, whatever you're gonna be owned. The appreciation is just gonna be going up year after year. Real estate is a great decision because you're gonna be able to leverage your money, so you're gonna be able to get a more bang for your buck. And then also you're gonna be getting monthly income as well as appreciation over time. And a phenomenal place for you to be investing your money to generate passive income. And finally, the third place that I would look to invest your money from a 9-to-5 job is another business. So for example, for me personally, this YouTube channel is something that I wanted to invest in. So I was taking the money from my other side incomes in my 9-to-5 and being able to purchase a new Mac, a Sony a7S III, some plants and stuff for my apartment to, spice up the set. But I wanted to invest in this business because I knew if I could invest and get a quality to a certain place, then it might make this journey a little bit faster for me to actually start seeing some returns on passive income from this business. But for you, it might be completely different. You might want to invest in microphones and podcast equipment, or you want to start a car flipping business where you're going to be investing from one car to the next. So you're going to take your money and you're going to invest into that, hoping that you're going to be able to grow your money over time as you're flipping from one car to the next. But the main focus of this entire thing is, instead of taking the money from your 9-to-5 job and putting on things that are just going to be gone with the wind and gone with the snap of a finger, you're actually going to be saving this money to invest in things that will generate more income and appreciate over time. So just to recap, passive income can come from two pillars. Either one, you're investing your time up front, or two, you're going to be investing your money up front. But in this video, I really just wanted to scratch the surface on how exactly passive income works and give you a broad overview of how to generate side incomes outside of your 9-to-5 so you can diversify your income streams. The more streams of income that you have, the easier it is to become wealthy. But if you made it to this point in the video, thank you so much for your attention. I greatly appreciate it. If you haven't already, go ahead and smack that like button. And if you are not subscribed to the YouTube channel, please feel free to subscribe for more videos and smash that bell for more notifications as soon as my videos drop. Enough about me. You go and focus on yourself, invest in yourself, and start your side income today. And drop down in the comments if you have any questions or if you already have a side income. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and have a great rest of your day.